except the one you're on, and the third one we're going to do today is the second kind of thing we're going to see. So graphs are done for now. The one we're really going to do is kind of what we're used to doing with the charts and so on. It's visually just going to look a little bit different because it's in function notation. You're going to want some scratch paper and probably going to need a calculator since you guys are crutched to that. But all we're going to do is they're going to give you an equation and ask you to plug in a number for x. You probably won't get a y value out of this, I don't think. This one only go to 90 because I think once it gets past 90, weird stuff is asked, and so we don't need to mess with that. So in this case here, I've got negative 20 over x minus 12. It wants f of 4. So wherever you see x, that's where the 4 is going to go. There might be more than one location. Okay. In this case, I'm going to put that in there. So that's going to be negative 20 divided by 4 minus 12. Negative 20 divided by 4 is negative 5. Minus 12 is negative 17. So I got to put in negative 17 and work my way through. Here I'm going to plug in negative 6. Plug in negative 6. That's negative 60 plus 2 is negative 58. Some of you might be able to do this stuff in your head. Some might not. Okay. This also jumps fairly quickly. Let me find a couple little tricks that you might run into. Square roots. Don't forget the square root of a number, like the square root in this case of 9. It's an actual mathematical operation, so the square root disappears. So the square root of 9, square root of 9 plus 1, so that's 3 times 3 plus 1, or 10. Okay. Sometimes your calculator will mess with your head if you don't type it in correctly, so, and it's also maybe a little longer. Here's where it gets a little weird. Near the 60s and 70s, you are no longer just going to plug in numbers. With the function notation, it doesn't matter what's inside the parentheses of the f. That's what goes in for the letter, okay? Whether it's an elephant, a tiger, a 6, a variable and a number, that's what's going to go in. As we get into calculus, stuff like this happens. So they want me to find f of r plus 8, and they're going to throw weird letters all over the place. They got a d up here because that's what the d is. But like everything else, whatever's inside here gets plugged into wherever you've got. So that's going to be 3 times r plus 8. Foil it out, so my answer is 3r plus 24. Foil it out. So you might not just have numbers. You're going to have that. What? Did it not go? I must not hit it. 3r plus 28. There it is. In there. Oh, I had 28. What did I write? I had 24 and I typed in 28. Got it. Silly me. Okay. Let me get back to something like that. Here's one that's got an a minus 6. Goes in for the 4. So it's negative 4 times a minus 6. Negative 4a plus 24. That's how we're going to handle that one. And then we're going to jump to the next level. They're all pretty much the same there. You see one more, and then I'll turn you loose. And that's the challenge zone, and that's where you're going to stop anyway. Okay? But just since it's here and we've got it, sometimes there's a squared where you got to plug in. In this case, I'm going to plug that in there, and that's a minus 4, the quantity squared, which is a minus 4 times a minus 4 you gotta FOIL that all out and get a squared minus 8a's plus 16, and that's the answer. So be careful on something like that if you decide to go past 90. All right. Think I'm gonna stop there and not worry about the piecewise stuff at the. So tomorrow for you guys, we'll finish out the page 9, which is the piecewise stuff. It seems to be slightly confusing for students, but it's a really very simple concept. But I think I'll just leave these 3 here, and then we'll do the third part of the function values tomorrow. All right? I don't want to overwhelm you too much at this point.